Hustle, 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 hustle. Just a different day, out here trying to get it each and every way. Mama need a house, baby need some shoes. Times are getting hard. Guess what we gonna do? Hustle, 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 hard. Hustle, 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 hard. Hustle, 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 hard. Listen, closed mouths don't get fed on this boulevard. Done. You guys, it's time to talk. I'm excited, yo. I'm so excited. Like Styles said, yo, you guys, I've got to, listen, real quick. Luca, Aviva, fire me up, Mandolin. Yo, Trinity, Amanda, Tiana, fire me up, you guys. Listen, it's time to talk. This is gonna be a conversation. Inside of this conversation, one of the things that you're gonna get is how to go have more conversations. You're about to get something that's gonna allow you not only to have the proper conversations, but for you to duplicate the proper conversations being had. I'm honored, I'm excited. Like Sal said, yo, I'm like, oh, I'm bringing my son in now. Because now I know I can duplicate this thing in a massive way. We can duplicate this thing in a massive way. I'm so excited. Here's what we're about to do. Let me first say, I was sitting with Eric Worre, a bunch of us actually, and here's what hit me. He asked us a question, and he said, have you ever wondered why your first lines tend to be a bit more skilled and do a little bit better, oftentimes a lot better than your 6 lines? And he said, it's because you have your amateurs teaching your babies. He said, I challenge you guys to go build a system where everyone can become a rock star. Everyone can potentially become a rock star. And at that moment, it set us on course to go look for something, to go figure out, to sit back, take time and design something that we can acquire distributors, acquire customers, launch distributors, launch customers, and make them have the best Herbalife experience possible with this WeDo transformations tool we have. Man, that said, we went to work and we decided, listen, we want to build something, but we need to go ahead and see what resources are out there in the marketplace. You guys, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking like, yo, I want to get back to work, right? I have vitality, I want to get back to work. But I kept saying like, to go do everything that I did the exact same way, I don't know if I want to do it. But I do know, like Jim Rohn said, there's no new fundamentals, right? The same things that we did, right, we still have to do. But what if we can do it and make it more efficient and make it more effective than it's ever been before, right? You guys, stay tuned. In a typical WeDo fashion, not only am I going to come out here and present this, we actually have the CEO of the company we found to help us build this thing come and also share how we're going to make this thing happen. Not only is he CEO, a few fun facts. This guy used to sell seminar tickets for Jim Rohn in the 1990s. Right? He's been in network marketing for 27 years. Before leaving the industry, he recruited over 300,000 distributors. He left the industry and wanted to find something that he could use to make it easier and make it more simple, to make it more fun, and if I say, more magical for us all. With no further ado, I'd like to bring up Patrick Shaw.
good. I wish I had one of those. That was nice.
You like that?
Yeah, that was nice.
Ain't no fun. The homie can't have none.
Listen, I don't do shame and I don't do jealousy. But if I did jealousy, I am jealous of you guys. As CEO of Rapid Funnel, I have seen leaders globally, massive organizations. I mean, I work with a lot of leaders and companies. I have never, not one time, I'll just tell you this, been in an environment where you have the caliber of Herbalife behind you, and you've got the caliber of leadership that you have with WeDo Transformations. So just gratitude, serious. I mean, it makes me want to go back and build. Like, the opportunity that you have in front of you right now is ridiculous. And I've had a chance personally, because I got so excited about it, I started being on the calls, on the onboarding calls, and the technology that you're going to see that's going to allow you to duplicate. I've seen the team work on this stuff. And I mean, they're engaged. They're giving up their own time, their own activity to spend time building out these tools that are going to allow you guys to duplicate like you never have. All right. So there are three big things that need to happen, whether you are brand new and just getting started or you're trying to elevate to the next level. There are three really big things that should happen in the business. Think we're good on it? Let's see. So we are going to introduce, while this is coming up, we're going to introduce a platform you're going to be able to download, not today, but very soon, next challenge, okay? But you'll get enough of an idea. You're going to have a platform that is both on your mobile device and on your desktop. How many of you came here and forgot your phone at home? It never happens, ever. It's the one thing when you have 5 minutes to kill, you should be able to prospect, right? You should be able to prospect. So we're going to talk about the launch of the WDT Connect app. And you have different platforms for different things. Let me be very clear. This platform is for just a few purposes. That's it, right? Number one is the lead measure, the KPI, the single most important thing that you can do in networking, and the thing that you can control is your activity. You want to recruit more? That thing Eric talked about, 20 people, 30 days. You want to recruit more? You need to increase your activity. The quantity of people you talk to and the quality and the consistency of the follow-up will determine your success. There's an extraordinary book out there called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. It's the #1 best-selling business book in the world. It's not written for network marketing. It says that the 4 disciplines, #1 is a wildly important goal. You guys know that, hopefully. #2 is act on the lead measure. If you're building a team, the lead measure is prospecting, follow-up, and teaching prospecting and follow-up. That's it. It's really simple. Everything else is the whirlwind. Organizing the desk, doing the laundry, hanging out on social and not being active, right? That's all the whirlwind. It's increasing your activity. So #1 is you've got to increase your personal activity. You've got to lead by example, and you have to create a system so your team can increase their activity. I'll get more to duplication in a minute. #2 is we've got to improve onboarding. I came over here in an Uber from the airport, and that guy that drove that Uber could download the Uber app and start driving for Uber easier than most people can join a network marketing company. Now, how crazy is that? Right? People, the average person is 5 to 7 hours a week. This is why duplication and depth matter. You need to be able to help the person 6 levels deep. I mean, what you said, man, it almost struck me. Jonathan was talking about getting excited about the duplication. The reason leaders are better on their first level is because they're teaching the how-tos. But if there's real duplication, the how-tos are taught by a system, and the leaders can focus on personal growth and mindset.
And more.
Now, you get a Jonathan to talk personal growth and mindset, a Jorge, Octavio, all the leaders that make up this group. I shouldn't even mention names because there's so many people we've worked with as part of that leadership group. But you understand, if they could focus on mindset and personal growth, you can do that in depth. Tony Robbins can have an impact through a book and on stage, but you start getting the minutia of detailed how-tos, and the leaders have to do it because it's so complicated. But what if you can simplify all that? You can make onboarding incredibly easy. Number 3 is identify and develop leaders. Now, we got to get into the platform for you to understand this. But at its heart, the biggest leaders know where to spend their time. It's the most precious thing everybody has. I don't care if you want to get closer to the Lord, more fit, build a bigger business, make millions. Systems duplicate and people do not. So you can work really, really hard. But in this business, if you don't, in almost any business this is true, but if you don't have a system, it's hard to create momentum, right? And from a leadership perspective, you need to know where to put your time. If Jonathan comes to me and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I think it's the colors, the WeDo I don't know about the yellow and the red. I think it's affecting my growth or whatever. If you need an excuse, anyone will do, right? So Jonathan, I think that's my problem. And Jonathan goes, hey, Patrick, it's okay, brother. I believe in you. I love you. We're going to get there together. Let's take a look at your numbers. How many of you remember the old tracking sheet? Right? When I started 27 years ago, my sponsor said, fax me your tracking sheet. Right? And I looked at the sheet, and I told him I was working 20 hours a week. I knew it took 5 minutes per exposure max. 5 minutes, 20 hours a week, that's a lot of exposures. I looked at the sheet. I had 10 names on it for the week. And I thought, I can't fax him this because he knows that 5 minutes times 10 people is 50 minutes. He's going to ask me where the other 19 hours and 10 minutes went. You guys with me? Yeah. This is the business. Like he'd always call me. We'd chat about football or whatever for about a minute. And then he said, hey, who do we got to talk to now? Who do we have to talk to from yesterday? Like it was always the same thing, man. He made the point, like we're getting busy. So Jonathan calls me. He says, hey, Patrick, I love you. We're going to do this. Hey, let's pull up your app. And now you will see your activity numbers right there on the app. There's nowhere to, like, he just says, hey, so is that a 3? Is that right? So it's the 27th of the month. And that's okay. Don't worry about it, Patrick. We're going to get there. But do I have that right? You've talked to 3 people so far? See, he knows the problem. I know the problem, right? We don't have to talk a lot more. We can get busy doing activity. Okay, so those are the 3 things, and they're true on a personal level. Whether you're just getting started, you need to see your own stats. You need to be able to look in the mirror every day and go, here are my numbers. So we're going to go through a few screenshots of things. I promise you, it just made it a little more difficult today. I've got the app. It's right here. It's on the phone. It is sick and it is dynamic, right? And it is liquid fast. But we're going to show you some screenshots here. We're going to talk through this to give you an idea of some of the features that are available.
So guys, this is the dashboard. As you can see, you'll see that, let's just say his name was Patrick, right? Patrick, he has a total of 83 exposures. This means that he sent about 83 messages, and they probably maybe watched a video, or he's engaged with at least 83 people, right? You see the next, you said, now that's just this month, right? And 2 this week. As you said, there's a scorecard. So anytime someone's saying something's not happening, you can say, you know what, send me your scorecard, and we'll talk more about that scorecard later. But also it shows what's Patrick's engagement over the total, and of course the month and the week. But then what I really love, right, is the resources and campaigns. And I think really what ties it all together is because we're all competitive, is the contest that we can build and that we can play with our team specifically to get those numbers up. Does that sound exciting? All right, next slide.
Real quick, I did an event. I'm in Atlanta. There's about 400 people. And I said, who's made the most exposures? And I had a young lady come up. Her name was Shakira. She had made 400 exposures. Now, to be clear, that number that says exposures this month, this week, those are unique prospects that I've never spoken to before. It can only happen once. If I prospect my mother 8 times, it doesn't show up as 8 there. It's 1. It tells you the quantity of my effort. Engagements shows me how many of the 83 people actually engaged in content. Did they fill out a survey, a free secrets page? Did they opt into an email campaign? And guys, all of this is pre-built, by the way. Like just give me one more second. I got you. There's something important.
Can you tell how passionate he is about this?
Oh, man. Listen, you have to understand this. The reason I built this, right, 10 years ago we started, is I got frustrated. I grew up in an era of networking where we had a VHS tape, a product, a fax, a phone, and a meeting. That's it. I mean, dude, it was like, it was pre-email. Like, you couldn't mess it up. So when people talked about the system, it's like, well, you can only do these 5 things. That's it. What do you guys have to face today about how to build? Is it more complicated? Is it more difficult? There's no question, man. The average person, I'm not talking about the elite social media person. I'm talking about the average person that joins the business. It's difficult. So the fundamentals of network marketing haven't changed 1 ounce. It's about the relationship. It's person to person. It's about simplicity. It's about duplication. But the environment we live in has changed. All these crazy tools. My team was coming to me and they're like, oh, look what I did. I recruited 10 people last month using this tool or system. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. And it is cool that you recruited 10 people. And I don't want to put that down, but I can't teach that because everybody can't sign up for this $50 or $100 a month thing. And they can't be a digital marketer. Right? They can't figure all this out. I'm not saying some people can't. I'm saying I can't get this to go 10 levels deep in 3 weeks. That doesn't work. Right? That's not how I made millions and millions. It had to be simple. You now have simple. You guys will not write the email campaigns, create the capture pages, write the surveys. You will have, and here's the crazy part. You got like guys that know and gals that know this business that wrote it for you. And when they wrote it 1 time and you send a survey, all the data comes back to you. Jorge doesn't get it, Jonathan, nobody else gets the data. Facebook and YouTube, look, I believe in them. Use them. Just don't let them use you. They own the data, not you. So use them to generate a lead and then get it out of there as fast as you can into your private channel. Make sense? Okay, sorry.
You got it.
All right, I got the clicker.
Resource library. So, step 1, we're going to pique interest, right? We know the invitation, then the presentation, right? So a person will see, hi, it's a script. You know, so here's what's funny, guys. So I tested it out the other day. I don't know, am I the only one? Have you ever like met someone, maybe gotten their contact, and maybe wrote something to remind yourself that this is a prospect? Yeah. Right, so I have like a bunch of people. If I type in prospect, there's a lot of people that will show up. So I was like, let me see if this works. And I literally tried it, added somebody to the system, sent it to a guy, and I remember who he is actually, because it took a while, but I haven't seen him in over 10 years, right? I sent it to him. Mind you, we haven't talked. The next day, the message said, hi, remind me who this is, but yes, I'm interested. I was blown away. Blown away.
Watch this. So I got Jonathan right here. I hit 1 button, send resource, peak interest, text. I just texted him. You guys don't have to take screenshots or cut and paste it or figure it out. The scripts are all there.
The message came in just now. It said, hey, Jonathan, I'm launching a 21-day fitness challenge, and I've been educating my clients on getting in the best shape in 2024. I'd love to send some information your way. Oh, would you be willing to take a look for me? Worst case, you might know somebody that needs the help. This is the message that went out, right?
Can a new person do that? Right? All right.
So we have pre-written email campaigns. You guys, here's what's interesting. I was talking to the team yesterday on the call, post our event yesterday, and I got to thinking, I was like, I realized that I have at least 13 years of, let's say, clients that I haven't talked to, some in 13 years, right? I said, so what if I were able to, I don't know, download a CSV, right? Put them into a system where I can keep them in rotation and can keep them in communication. Imagine what my volume would start to be again through just touching them softly over time. Imagine how that would scale my volume over time. Just that alone. Imagine those same people who tried the products, who love the products, who probably just maybe forgot, didn't know where I am, thought I was too busy, right? But because we have relationships with our clients, we'll love to hear from me, right? How would a happy 2024 message go out for them? And then start to engage and re-engage and create new, like that high touch feel again.
So,
hold on, one more thing. And then inside of that, think about how some of those clients at that time may not have been ready, based on whatever was going on in their life, to do the business, but now, how that now becomes an opportunity. Go ahead, Patrick.
right? So imagine this, right? You heard Justin go through that script. Like he knows it, backwards, 7 ways to Sunday. How many times has he sent those messages that he stood up here without any script at all and read them all off to you? You guys with me? What if you had those words, right? And when you met somebody, they weren't ready for whatever reason. You couldn't get them off the fence within a week or two. And you said, hey, would you mind if I stayed in touch? I'll drop you some information if I think it might be interesting. Now, I'm actually putting them in a campaign that's from me to that prospect. Now, what's a good opt-in rate by email, by the way? What's a good, who knows the numbers? What's a good opt-in rate for email, a campaign? 5% is really high. 2% is pretty good. You guys are going to have a 40% opt-in rate. I mean, I know it globally across all companies, right? 40% of the people you put in an email campaign, and at the point of discovery, you will decide, okay, you're interested in a challenge. Somebody else is interested in a weight loss. Somebody else is interested in the opportunity to build a business. And you're going to put them in a prospective campaign. And 6 months from now, they're going to start clicking on content, and the app is going to tell you you have a new hot prospect because there's an algorithm in the app telling you who's watching what and when. Nice. Right? This whole thing started because I went to a buddy's house who had 6,000 people in an email campaign. I was hanging out with him in Maryland. He sent one email to his list over the weekend. We were hanging out, chilling. He recruited 3 people that weekend. And I was so mad because I'd been in the business 15 years at the time, and I had no database. And I went home to do it, and then I got mad at myself because I'm like, I can't teach people to do this. This is the very thing I can't do.
The hot list, as Patrick said, based on their engagement. Guys, so when a video goes out, right, and you'll hear more about videos, but when a video goes out, you'll be able to see exactly how much of it they watched. Let's say they watched a minute and a half, and stopped. You'll know. Let's say they completed it. Not only will you know, it'll rank it. Not only that, if you see somebody who you talked to or you met and you feel like they're hot based on the engagement, you can also rank it yourself. You can rank them yourself.
So we all have a 5-star rating system, right? And in your head, you do. They're an opportunity seeker. They're money motivated. They have contacts and credibility. Whatever your system, and that'll come from WeDo transformations, but you guys will say, okay, is this a 1-star, 2-star, 5-star prospect? 25% of the score is how you rank them. 75% is the algorithm. It's machine learning and soon to be AI, where we're literally telling you who to follow up with next. You can search every way to Sunday. Right inside the app, you got 5 minutes, you're waiting to pick up the kids or something, and you got 5 minutes to kill. You go to the app, you search, who are my 5-star prospects? Who are the people with the hottest score? Who's looked at the activity log most recently? So you know chronologically who's been looking at information. Every morning you get up, one of the first things you'll end up doing is you'll look at the activity log and you'll be like, man, who is this? You won't even remember when you prospected that person and now they're clicking on information. And then you call them or you text them and they go, oh my gosh, what a coincidence. I was just watching that video you sent me. Really? Right?
I love seeing the faces on how everybody, you guys are tuned in. Give it up for you guys. You guys are super tuned in. I'm watching your face like, wow, on the screens, right? Okay, drop some fire emojis if you love this.
They're asking for the login.
Ha, exactly. Drop some fire emojis if you love it. All right, so guys also, right? So again, activity log, as Patrick said, we got about 4 minutes left. So activity log, like he said, you'll see how much they watch. We can go to the next one. Contest, oh my God, this is where I love it. You guys know how we are. You know when you can flip, imagine these are your distributors. And you can flip over and you can see who's winning the contest, right? Based off of whatever you decide, whether it's how many people you reached out to, that first initial engagement, maybe it's how many people you've gotten to a certain place, right? Whether enter the challenge. You can set this up, leaders in the room can set this up for however you see fit to duplicate and run challenges inside of your personal organizations. It's gonna be amazing, guys. Who's fired up?
Listen, some of you shark A personalities, you think everybody does it for the money. They don't. A lot of people do it for the recognition. They do it for the competition. You put them in a contest where they're gonna win or lose. I am not a money-motivated person. I'm just not. I know myself. I'm not money-motivated. It doesn't do it for me. Put me in a contest that I want to compete in, I will go play. You go put a leaderboard together, and there's a brag button in the top right-hand corner. You hit the brag button, you post it to Telegram or the team Facebook page, and you say, hey, this is John, Joe, I'm gonna catch you in 3 days. Right? All boats rise in the tide. That's what happens.
Yes. So guys, in closing, the fundamentals haven't shit changed. There'll never be new fundamentals, guys. So all we've done is take all the key fundamentals that we've all done inside of our business and systematize it and made it in a way to where our 6th line can do exactly what our 1st line is doing. Right? Patrick?
Nothing to add there.
Okay, great. So we're gonna wrap up. So we got 2 minutes, right? So, one more. Go ahead and go through that. This is just a list of some of the things you guys are gonna see inside of that's behind the scenes in the app that you guys have received. This right here is gonna let you know.
I'll comment one on this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, these are all tools you recognize. They're all tools in the digital world. But I really want you to understand, in the digital world, what digital marketers seek, and I'm not knocking, okay? I understand there's a place. We want to recruit influencers. That's all fine. But in the digital world, it's all about effectiveness, regardless of the cost, pay-click advertising, all this. They're looking for effectiveness. What are we looking for in network marketing? I'll give you a hint. It's not to be most effective. Because if that were true, I'd only recruit the very best salespeople. Right? What are we looking for in network marketing above all else?
Efficiency and duplication.
Duplication. We're looking for something we can duplicate. So if I have to give up some effectiveness to get massive duplication, fine. I'll give up 15% effectiveness to get duplication that I can crush. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the tools are the same, but they're built very differently, right? You don't have to figure any of this out. All right.
All right, guys. So that said, there's a standard version. On the standard version, everybody who's watching, right, you guys will have that standard version. We're gonna do a call. We're gonna set up a call with the leadership in this room who's a part of the challenge. And we'll actually talk to you guys about the pro version because you guys will be able to have access and actually link your team who's in the challenge to you. Nice. So you can see now how to run these to gamify it all and run these things that you've seen up here, literally with your team. So each one of you guys will be able to look in there, see exactly who in your team is in the challenge, exactly what's happening, exactly what they're doing, and be able to run it just like that. How awesome is that? Wow. Right?
You know how many people you have on your team that's 6 levels deep? They make 50 exposures. They're 1 week from quitting because they have no competency, but they have hunger and desire. But because you can see it now, you can go reach out. You can make that phone call, and you can help them stay in the business for the next decade.
Nice. So, I guess the last thing is, when do you get it? Right? Anybody want to know when you get it? I don't think they want it, Patrick. We should leave.
I know they do.
If you want to know, give it up. Stand up and say, when. All right.
All right. Come on, baby.
Next slide. Next slide, Patrick. Last slide. You guys, sign up for the February challenge. And you'll have access to this app. Thank you, guys. That's our time. How was this, though? You guys excited?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.